Yes, my people, welcome, welcome, welcome back to another edition of the Reggae Boys Weekly. I hope everyone is doing good on this lovely Sunday. Once again, I am joined by Dylan. Last time Dylan was here was for the Premier League show, which is called I don't remember, to be honest.
Title
People,
talk.
Title Talk. It's a recent that I have to get accustomed to it, but Title Talk will be back on tomorrow. Week one review of the Premier League. So we're going to discuss everything that happened in the opening week, especially surrounding our own Reggae Boys players. As we all know, Leon Bailey, had a golden opportunity to score, missed that chance. I think in Leon Bailey's defense, it was a difficult chance, especially from the angle. In hindsight, you probably kick yourself and say, you know what, I could have done this differently. West Ham went on to lose against Aston Villa. That's Mikel Antonio's team. With Omar Hutchinson, a potential Reggae Boy, etc., etc. And we're going to cover every other Reggae Boy as well who would have been in action over the weekend. But Dylan, how are you doing, man? Mr. Arsenal, your team won 2-0 against not Fulham, 2-0 against Wolves. How was that win for you guys? How you feel about that win?
I mean, my two favorite players at Arsenal right now are Kai Havertz and David Raya. So you can imagine that I was over the moon with the last game. Yeah, it was a comfortable 3 points. We're getting back into the rhythm. We look like we have everything together. So I'm just grateful for that. Other than that, still getting over jet lag. And getting ready for the next semester of school.
Yeah, and
And
to be
how are
honest,
you doing?
not too bad, not too bad. Just holding on. You've been a staunch defender of Kai Havertz. You've done videos surrounding Kai Havertz, defending Kai Havertz. You know what I'm saying? So for Kai Havertz to score on the opening day, I hear some people talking about 20 goals in the Prem. You don't need a striker. I don't know if that's like realistic, but he does have some
Well,
goals
I
in him.
think
You know what
it's
I'm
it's
saying?
more what he provides, like the way he distributes the ball from the front. I can understand why people would have that frame of thought. I just don't personally believe that you need to find the perfect player every single time. Um, but yeah, no, I think we'll have something going. I think it'll be interesting to see how Jesus responds. Um, but anyways, this is not title talk, so yeah, Super
Yeah, yeah.
Kai. That's my guy. From the day he was signed, I told, if you guys know Christoph Pringle, big footballer, for racing. Yeah, I told him from day one. I was like, Kai Havertz will be the truth, and just look at it now. So, anyways, there you go.
On my last point, although it's not title talk, what I respect about Arteta and Kai Havertz, I'm not saying they can do this with every player that's out of favor at a rival club or a different club. But, for Kai Havertz to like face the pressure that he was facing at Chelsea, didn't live up to expectations, but still, Arsenal signed him for a lot of money. It's debatable. But so far, whether or not you want to debate if he's living up to the price tag, I think he has contributed enough to an extent to kind of warrant the price tag. You know what I'm saying? If Arsenal went on to win the league last season, then nobody would be even. No, everybody would forget the price tag. You know what I'm saying? Because that would be
Well, I
incredible.
think people have forgotten the price tag, but then, I mean, as a Kai Havertz fan that I can call myself at this point, he still has his. I think the thing about him is that he's hilarious to watch, right? Like he can come up with moments of brilliance, like the header, but then at the same time, I don't know if you saw the chance with his right foot that he just kicked away, and he's supposed to be two-footed, so it's just like it's very, very, very funny to watch. And as Dicanio said, that was my next thing. 65 million is not that much in this market, right? It's
Yeah.
not like we significantly overpaid, but it's Arsenal at the end of the day. So yeah, I mean, my club is a laughing stock because we bottled the title twice, um, or bottled whatever that means. But yeah, we're getting there.
Yeah. But people, catch us tomorrow for Title Talk. However, we're here to discuss Reggae Boys and Reggae Boys only. So we have some interesting topics. We're going to discuss Ravel Morrison and him potentially returning to EFL, whether it's League One or League Two. Ravel Morrison stated in a recent interview that his agent was contacted by some clubs in EFL. I know that many of you guys love Ravel Morrison, but I have a strong opinion surrounding Ravel Morrison, Dylan, and I think that some people might be hurt whenever I make that statement further down in the show. Also, we're going to discuss MG Sports. TV, military gonna blasting the JFF or bashing the JFF for being, I guess you could say, not stable in terms of the appointment of coaches, four coaches in the span of 3 years. And Mr. MG is not happy with that. I saw some recent videos where MG said, listen, I'm going to hold the JFF accountable if they get this appointment wrong. And not only the appointment pertaining to Steve McLaren himself, but just everything in general, just the organization itself. MG is stating that the organization it needs to be run properly going forward. But MG said, "I'll give them some time to try clean house and fix up some things before him beat them." But MG is definitely putting the pressure on the JFF and the recent appointments. I mean, Dylan, listen, four appointments in 3 years. It's kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? It shows that there's no stability, there's no continuity within the footballing program. And last but not least, we're going to discuss Kaheim Dixon and his work permit situation, as well as his future at Charlton Athletic. Will Kaheim Dixon be a mainstay in this Charlton Athletic team, or will he go out on loan? I mean, the transfer window is coming to an end soon, so I mean, I don't know if loan is a possibility and a loan where to. That's the big question. But before we get into these topics, people, let's give you guys the intro for the show. It's time to rise up. Seven, take your place. Rise up, shine like the sun. Rise up, rise up. Your journey has just begun. Rise up. Yeah, rise up, people. So anyway, Dicanio, big up yourself. Conrad Smith, big up yourself. Corey Scarniff, big up. Jason Guna, you see in the chat, big up yourself, Jason Guna. Marvin Ferron, big up yourself as well. Sherman Scott, one done from Clarendon. Owen, big up yourself as well. Anyways, Bill, I'm going to kick it off with Ravel Morrison, right? So there's a program going on now that will end at the end of August, basically, where you have like players who are free agents who find it difficult to find a club. I guess it's like, I don't want to say like pick up games, but they're playing some games, training, etc., and it's in hopes that these players can be identified for different respective clubs. And seeing that they're on their last leg at the age of like 32, 33, 34, a club can hopefully pick them up and they can contribute something to these respective clubs. Now, we all know who Ravel Morrison is. We know the profile of player that Ravel Morrison is and his abilities. So he is in that program, and recently he stated that his agent was contacted by some clubs in EFL that might be interested in him, right? Now, I know that a lot of folks are calling for Ravel Morrison to get back into the Jamaican national team, whether or not he has a club or not. And for me, I think you have to have a club. I know that Whisper was an exception to the rule, or I don't know if there's a rule, but I know that Whisper would have been an exception, seeing that he didn't have a club. And looking at it, in hindsight, I don't think a national team should operate in the sense where if you don't have a club, you get into the national team. I don't think this happens in any other country. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's a country that's not so much of a footballing nation, but them just a try thing. You get me? I think we're past this stage as a country in terms of football, in terms of just trying a thing and just putting players on the field. We have enough professional players playing at a semi-professional level as well as a full professional level to play for the national team. You know what I'm saying? So from the get-go, Whisper should have never been included due to the fact that he didn't have a club. So in that sense, I don't think Ravel Morrison, if he doesn't have a club, for as good as he is, or for as good as he has demonstrated that he is in the past, he should not get into this national team, right? What are your thoughts surrounding Ravel Morrison and him potentially getting a club by the time the transfer window ends, basically?
I mean, I think for me, when I look at the situation, I think I just look at it like this. If Steve McLaren brings in Ravel Morrison and we qualify for the World Cup, then great. But I don't really see how Ravel Morrison is going to help us qualify for the World Cup. I think we should be putting all of our energy into getting the likes of Amari Hutchinson to really, settle down. I watch Amari for Ipswich. I just hope that his season, he grows into the Premier League more and more. I think the thing that you did say about Whisper, though, I kind of disagree. I think he's a young player. We saw what he did in the Manning Cup. He's supposedly our wonder kid. So, bringing him into the team is not crazy. He did score, even though it was lucky, a luckier goal. But I think it's just important to bring in young players. But in terms of the instability that you're talking about, I think I definitely agree. Um, our whole football program needs to be, it needs to be looked into, because if there's no stability from the national level trickling down, then what exactly is going to happen? And the Red Stripe Premier League is a semi-professional league, so I mean, you're stating a lot of things that are true. I agree with most of them, but yeah, it's. I hope that this guy stays, but I know if there's another job knocking on the door, what
Well,
exactly
yeah,
is
yeah,
going
jump
to
ship, man. Yes, walk. I see, brother. We even reach over to Steve McLaren side at JFF, brother.
No, but you never said. Okay, go ahead, sir.
Brother, we still talk about Ravel Morrison, brother. You hand over JFF. Judge people like the man jet lag and interview, man. Hey, trust me.
No, but I feel like the two things go together,
Got you. Because remember the last
because
question.
Steve had known Ravel Morrison from the get go, right? So I was just like, yo, like this is. I don't really feel like this Ravel Morrison. I just don't understand what the Jamaican public loves about him so much, because I feel like the ship has sailed and we need to let it go.
Yeah.
That's really what I think.
No, I think so as well. And I think as to why Ravel Morrison even struggles to find a club is because, I think many different respective clubs, they've identified that, having a Ravel Morrison is just a waste of time in the sense that he has been given so many chances. And I just feel like Ravel is at a stage in life where he's fighting so many demons. You know what I'm saying? Where it just doesn't make sense to take that much of a risk on him. I mean, whether the wages are whether the wages will be low or high, it's just a waste of space in certain teams. If he goes like lower in a league or whatever the case is, then maybe he has a good shot at reviving his career for the period of time that he has left in his legs. You know what I'm saying? But he has been to West Ham. I know that he went to Italy, etc., etc. And everyone that has spoken about Ravel Morrison, they've always stated that he's a very talented player. But it just comes a time where you get up in age and you kind of lose that. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think Ravel is this special player that, like, I don't think he is as special as how people make him out to be, Dylan. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing
Right.
to be a wonder kid when you were at Manchester United, etc., etc. But if you don't live up to that expectation, if you don't live up to half of that, then there's no reason for you to be in the mix of saying that, oh, you're one of Jamaica's best players, or oh, you should get back into the national team, whether or not you have a club. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh,
And
to this
got you.
comment that you guys made is true. I kind of just woke up from a nap still, so I still think of like how people talk about Berkeley's Premier League. I think about it as Red Stripe Premier League. So my bad. But yeah, continue what you're saying.
I mean, many people in the comment section I say, oh, them bet the coach have his eyes on Ravel Morrison. Listen, I'm a huge critic of Steve McLaren, but Steve McLaren coming from that professional setting at Manchester United and at that high standard, I don't think Steve McLaren would dare to select a player that is not playing professional football. I mean, if you look at the likes of United States, if you look at the likes of Mexico, if you look at the likes of Canada, if you look at the likes of every big nation that plays football at the highest level on the international stage, I've never really seen them select a player that is not playing for any club or at any level that you can say, okay, this is acceptable. You know what I'm saying, Dylan? If
Yeah.
if those countries are not doing it and we're trying to say match those countries in terms of levels and professionalism or just standards, why is it that we would go out there to select a player that is at the age of 33, 34 to get into the national team when he's not playing any form of club football? I think that's a disrespect to other players who are either playing at the semi-professional level or at the professional level.
And I think, like to Dicanio in the comments trying to rile up some people. I think it is disrespectful for Ravel Morrison to be selected over the likes of Jamal Lowe. It just, I don't know what the excuse could be.
No, Damien,
I'm
no,
not a
Damien.
Damian Lowe. No, but I'm just saying, like, to back up your, well, to support the point that you're trying to make, right? Damian Lowe, for me, I do not like Damian Lowe. I think Damian Lowe is. I can't talk badly enough about Damian Lowe's footballing ability, but for me, Ravel, I just don't. Yeah, Ravel. We shouldn't even be talking about Ravel Morrison in 2024. He reminds me of Jesse Lingard. It's just this. It's like the media has helped. I don't know, give his career a different level of longevity. But to me, it just don't. It don't really make no sense to me at all.
No, before the last year, I was thinking about Lingard in comparison, but I think that's disrespectful to Lingard because Lingard for a
No,
period of time.
bro.
mm,
Lingard is
No,
living
man,
rent
Lingard
free
for
in
a period.
people's brain for no reason.
What do you mean?
As in Lingard's ability. See, what was the year that he went to West Ham on loan? About 2018, 2019 around there, and people are still talking about him. No man. But and to the people in the comments that are talking about Jesse Lingard, no bro. Jesse Lingard is not a good footballer. Wait, Presser, are you there? People look like we've lost Presser. The Wi-Fi has started acting up again. Alright, let me take some comments then. Better than having Line in midfield, I agree. Who is better than him in the eyes of the coach? Good question. I don't really know what out and out number 10 will have. We only have some fake number 10s, honestly. But why are we playing with like out and out number 10 as a team that don't really have any midfield? I don't think Ravel is doing anything to solidify the midfield, and it's like not like we have any good defensive midfielders until we get in the likes of like a John Russell. Yeah, people, please like up the stream. He's better than everyone in that position. Yeah, because there's nobody else. Ravel Overlow in my midfield every day. Okay, you said that like 3 times now.
Yeah, back again, people. Back again. Sorry about that, people. So as I was saying, right, Dylan, um,
Yeah.
I just feel like the ship surrounding Ravel Morrison, it has sailed, and we need to move on as a country. But no, my last point was about Jesse Lingard. No, Dylan, you're disrespectful. I will not stand for that. You know what I'm saying? Jesse Lingard. You remember, when England did go World Cup 2018, Jesse Lingard was one of England's best players. You get me? I say in that
Yeah, because they
2018
were
run.
bad. They haven't won anything.
Oh, yeah, I'm not talking about trophies. I'm just talking about the profile of Lingard. Like, even
What
under Olivier
profile?
period of time, remember when Jesse
Mm.
Lingard run through the whole midfield, but against Watford and them
Oh,
team there. So I'm not gonna
yeah.
disrespect Jesse Lingard in that sense. I remember the season when Jesse Lingard was at West Ham. Wicked piece of season, brother. When Ravel Morrison ever come close to Lingard in terms of having those wonderful seasons? Tell me, Dylan.
When he was about 18 or 17. So this is why we need to move on.
What are you talking about? When Ravel Morrison ever can match Jesse Lingard seasons?
I honestly, I don't think in my lifetime Ravel Morrison has done anything of note. Because wasn't he like the big star when Cristiano was at United? Oh, wow.
No. That's when Pogba them did the boat. I mean, Ronaldo did probably did the club them time. I don't remember, but Rafael would have young them time. They get message. He was at
Exactly.
England
I've
them time.
never seen like a highlight reel of Ravel Morrison doing anything good.
So yeah, compare them. Oh yeah, compare them until Lingard. Then.
No, because I'm just saying, in the eyes of the media, how the media talks about him, Jesse Lingard cannot be compared to the likes of a Bukayo Saka or a James Madison. So then why are people still talking about him? This is how this guy ended up in Korea not doing anything.
I want to tell you, say Lingard
Mm,
profile
yeah.
in terms of what Jesse Lingard has done in football is higher than Madison.
Wow.
I can tell you that. All right. Other than winning the FA Cup, I mean, I say Madison is not a good football player, but if you look at the two profiles of players, Jesse Lingard is a bigger profile in terms of accomplishments and the substance that he has, both for England and Manchester United. I'm not saying that Lingard is a legend of United, but Lingard did have some standout seasons at United. Then he went to West Ham, had a standout season as well. I don't know. Well, I think he wanted to leave, and then United must never did want to sell him, or they wanted the full evaluation for him or something like that. I don't remember. I think Jesse Lingard did talk about why never leave United or something like that. You get me? I think him did go for loan and him want to fight for him place at United. One bag of foolishness, as I say. But in terms of Jesse Lingard ending up in South Korea, I think it comes down to personal life and just distractions off the pitch. To be honest, you know what I'm saying. But
Bro, Kishan, you have too many excuses for your Manu players. But anyways,
it's not an excuse. I think Jesse
it is
Lingard
an
had
excuse.
no his mom.
Mm.
I think Lingard's mom was sick at a period in time, something like that. I'm telling you, and
Mm.
Lingard did just go through depression, etc. And because Lingard wasn't a bad player, remember the man who ran at West Ham, bro, when he was on loan. Remember before he left United to go to West Ham, a couple seasons under Ole, Jesse Lingard was one of United's best players. I'm not saying like top one or top two, but he was in that mix. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yes,
under
but how
Ole,
long ago was that?
not under Ole, under Jose Mourinho
Right now,
and
what
Ole's
can they
period of
do?
time.
Right now,
Lingard
what
too.
can they do? Those two players combined still cannot make the Premier League. Right now, today.
All right, Gunners boss, big up yourself. Listen, listen. I don't think. How old is Jesse Lingard?
Jesse must be like 31. The man not old.
Mm-hmm. No man, I still feel like if you put Jesse Lingard in the Prem right now, I want a
He's
good team.
31 years old. Look at that.
Right, if I put Jesse Lingard in the Prem, I want a good team. Him can do something with. Him can do something substantial. Trust me. But anyways, we're not here to talk about Jesse Lingard. But in terms of Ravel Morrison, team aggressive suppressor, Ravel Morrison is a better player by far, but he's affected by off the field issues. And when his career should take off at West Ham, Big Sam want him to change agent in order to re-sign him. Yeah, I heard about that story in terms of some other that's wanting him to change agent so they could have offered him a next contract. Young critic said Jesse, what I'm saying, Jesse could do a job for a team like Palace or Wolves. But I tell you, it's just that Jesse Lingard have personal issues. But in terms of the talent that Jesse Lingard is, he's not a bad player. He's not a bad player, brother. You see me I say, AM Henry, big up yourself. I'm not listen, whether or not I'm a United fan, I think if you ask majority of fans of different respective clubs, then we tell you that Lingard is a decent player, brother. And Lingard do more in football than Ravel Morrison and James Madison, probably combined. Big man thing. Just Lingard with Manchester United FA Cup already, you know. You see me? Yeah, man, just Lingard a stand up player United when they debut for a period of time, man. And then him go West Ham and have a wonderful season too. So I'm not gonna disrespect him.
Didn't Madison win FA Cup with Leicester as well?
Yeah, but Lingard do more in football still. But
Oh,
Predis,
okay. So,
Predis.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Big up to Ravel Morrison still. Hopefully, he can
Yeah.
find a club. In terms of the whole program that he's on now, it ends at the end of August. Players like Carl Jenkinson, they're participating in that as well. I think Carl Jenkins is what, like 33, 34, if I'm not mistaken, if not 32. And you have quite a few other players as well who they've played for multiple Premier League clubs. You know, they're coming to the end of it, but they still have something to offer. So with this program, hopefully they can find a club. You know, all of them, they're free agents. So hopefully they can go on to find a club and, you know, they have the last dance in terms of maybe them have one more season or two more seasons can contribute. Not saying that they'll make it in the Prem to a respective Prem team, but you know, as Ravel Morrison said, pertaining to his agent has been contacted by a few clubs in EFL. So hopefully Ravel Morrison can find a club, and then in terms of international selection, if he's playing good, then we can have this then we can have that discussion at a further time down the road. You get me I say? So let's transition into the next topic. Also, people, we have the star of the week today, so stick around. You can just put it up on screen, not the actual star of the week, the next slide. At the end of the show, we'll tell you guys who the star of the week is. Also, people, before we continue the show, please to go ahead, pull up that on screen, and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Also, share your thoughts in the comment section. Share the video as well, people. But the most important thing is to hit that like button and subscribe. Also, feel free to send us a super chat if you feel kind enough. So, anyways, let's transition into the next topic, the big juicy topic, MG Sports TV. So, MG Sports TV basically come down hard on the JFF, right? For appointing 4 coaches in 3 years. Those coaches would have been Paul Hall, Topper Whitmore, Steve McLaren since recent, and then before Steve, we had Jaime Hallgrimson. Now, I listened to MG in that video. It was a 16-minute video, and I think MG made some good points in terms of the JFF appointing 4 coaches in 3 years. And for me, Dylan, I think it reeks um shambles within the JFF right now because there's no continuity in terms of the national program, both at the senior level as well as when it comes down to like the other respective age groups in terms of like under 18s, etc., etc. I know that Jerome Waite was recently appointed back to the position that he's in right now. He took over from what's his name again? John Wall. You know, JFF went on to sack John Wall as well. So it's just one hagabaloo in the JFF in terms of if you're not a puppet for them, then more than likely they will ship you out. And I think I don't want to say that Jerome Waite is a puppet, but to an extent, maybe he is. You know what I'm saying? And I think whenever the JFF faces strong opposition, they do not tend to take on to that. You know what I'm saying? We've seen the likes of the coach who was with the women's team. He wasn't he wasn't renewed. His contract was not renewed, and I mean he was pretty successful with them. You know what I'm saying? Also, you had the Paul Hall situation where he was the caretaker or interim for a while, and then he was moved on. And I mean, even Ryan FC and a lot of people sing high praises surrounding Paul Hall because they've stated that they basically saw what Paul Hall was trying to do with the team despite the results. Now, in terms of 4 coaches in the span of 3 years, Dylan, you have any thoughts about that? You think it comes down to the JFF not operating at the best that they can?
I mean, I think I don't want to look too much in the past,
No
right?
man, Paul Hall, sorry, Paul Hall, Carnes. Paul Hall, me did correct myself. Got you.
Yeah, no, I don't want to look too much in the past because I don't know if that's like constructive to the argument. But I think if we're looking into the future, if
Well,
we
them never
don't qualify for this next World Cup, it's going to be a complete shambles.
well them never fire
Because
Paul Hall still. Money consider that a fine. But I still 4 coaches not years. Go through.
yeah, no, I'm just saying that if we do not qualify for the next World Cup, the money, the infrastructure that we could possibly gain is going to be amazing, and if it's invested well. But I think in my head, how I think about it is this is a dream to get to the World Cup. And if we do get to the World Cup at the end of the day, I will not be complaining because of the money that we'll make. But yeah, we need some consistency. We need a coach that believes. And maybe that's why they decided to go for Steve McLaren. Maybe McLaren never have that many job opportunities outside of Jamaica. And they considered competition. I don't know. This is not like inside information or anything. Um, but inconsistencies, of course, are going to lead to instability. So, I really just hope and pray that this guy just sticks around for the whole World Cup campaign and he gets some of the English-based players into the side and gives us the best chance of qualifying for the World Cup.
Gonna ask boss, you can't take it back 4-3-3%. I hear you say that the JFF is incompetent and Jerome is a fraud. I never called Jerome with a fraud, by the way, people. I said that I feel like I don't want to say he's a puppet for the JFF, but I feel like to an extent he is because whenever the JFF tends to face strong opposition in terms of their work ethic, etc., they tend to try to move on those people. So that's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of organizations, they rather to have somebody who they can control rather than someone that will oppose um the foundation of the organization. You know what I'm saying, Dylan? You find that in many different businesses, etc., etc. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I said
Yeah.
about Jerome. But I'm never call him a fraud still. Um Chorus can say, why are we saying if we don't get to the World Cup? Well, that's not what I'm saying. But it's always like it's a big if because you have other teams competing, and T-Gat was on the show yesterday, and T-Gat did state that it's not as straightforward as we think in terms of qualifying for the World Cup because you have many other countries like the Costa Rica, Panama, who, they're competing for a spot in the 2026 World Cup. You know what I'm saying,
But
Dylan? So,
do you get what I'm saying talking about the World Cup? Like, does it make sense?
what do you mean? Like, if we get to the World Cup, then that money can upgrade
Yeah,
infrastructure, etc.
yeah, that must be the dream, right?
Yeah.
Like if remember that the JFF and Michael Ricketts have said repeatedly over the last 2 or 3 years that their goal is to get to the World Cup, right? So if this big dream happens and the thing that was in Ricketts' manifesto comes true, then we can just only wait to see what will happen if we actually do qualify for the World Cup. I think that we have the easiest chance to qualify for the World Cup ever, right? And there's never been a better handout. But at the end of the day, there's still other teams competing with more consistency, with better football federations and organizations. So I think that's exactly where my mind goes.
hmm I mean, what I would like to know is what is the future of Jamaica football after
Exactly.
2026 World Cup? Because from the last World Cup we qualified for, it was back in 1998. Since then, we have failed at every other hurdle to qualify, right? In terms of like local competitions or regional competitions like the Gold Cup and Nations League, we've done well for ourselves. Probably should have won one of the Gold Cup them, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? However, that's a story for a different day. So in that sense, we've kind of competed well on the regional scale to an extent in terms of our region. However, I think the program we can do better in terms of one recruitment and two. grassroots program, and I would say 3, infrastructure as well. Now, let's separate something. The JFF, once again, people, is not responsible for building stadiums or anything like that. In terms of infrastructure, I would say that whatever the JFF is responsible for in terms of infrastructure wise, like for example, like um the field where them have at the office that they operate from. I heard that not a lot of players like to play on that surface. So if them
Right.
can have money to inject in that to change that and make it a bit more, I don't have the word on me right now, but for the lack of a better word, make it more suitable. I think suitable is the right word. Make it more suitable for players to train on those surfaces or play on those surfaces whenever they come for camp. That's one in terms of infrastructure that they could fix in the future, as well as any other thing that they would be responsible for in terms of grassroots coaching education, which the JFF and Michael Ricketts, they've been stressing coaching education since recently in terms of getting primary school coaches or just coaches at that level certified, because it is very important that when kids are at the age of 4, 6, 5, whatever the case is, you need to be implementing the basic football fundamentals that by the time they reach 11, 12, 13, you're not teaching them from the start again. Because if you look at other countries, when those kids are at the ages of 11, 12, 13 are going in teens, they're way advanced in terms of technical ability and the education surrounding football as well. Whereas our players, they might be gifted on the technical side to an extent, but in terms of the fundamentals of the game, they're far behind. And this is why whenever they go overseas, like the coaches look on them and say, you have a good skill set, but you're fast, you can dribble. But in terms of the fundamentals of the game, understanding your role as a winger, understanding your role as a striker, they're lost in the system, especially in Europe. Would you agree?
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. Based off, yeah, sorry. No, I think we're in agreement, which always surprises me because we never really agree. So, yeah, I don't know.
I think I agree more with you than Dicanio.
Well, that is not hard. That is not
Money
hard.
Pro Music, big up yourself. Me just afford. How find the show yeah at what's going on with MG Sports and JFF. No, me just I say MG just put the pressure on JFF. He might call them out for appointing 4 coaches in the span of 3 years. And MG did some other videos in which he was stating that he's going to hold the JFF accountable, especially if them make any mistakes going forward as we approach the qualifiers and being on the cusp of the 2026 World Cup. MG stressing the fact that we also need to be at the 2026 World Cup. So this appointment, it needs to be right. You know what I'm saying? But overall, the JFF, they must fix up, especially not only at the senior level, but even at the youth level, Dylan. Time and time again, we see the youngsters going out there against different countries being disgraced. And it's not, it doesn't do well for the confidence of these players. I mean, also, Mr. United, um, people, I can't remember his name. What's his name? Not Miran Garden. The technical director. What's his name? The
Of
man
what?
where, huh?
Technical director of what? JFF?
Yeah, man. What his name again, man?
Isn't it
Remind me in
Speed?
the comment section, people.
Isn't Speed the technical director of the JFF?
No, man, my chairman at the technical committee.
Oh,
What the man name, people, man?
we'll have
We
our
music
first
good and
caller
no good
soon.
again. Eh?
Of first caller, your favorite person,
Who that?
Dicanio.
Downswell. Yeah, man. Downswell. Downswell. Even Downswell. I think it's full time. We'll move on from Downswell. If you're not getting the results, if you're appointed to do something and you're not getting the results, bro, it comes a time where you have to move on from the position, or whoever is responsible for appointing you, they have to move you on and get somebody who is with new ideas, because the program in terms of the youth programs, they cannot continue like this. If the JFF is going to say that they want to qualify for different respective World Cups with these youth teams, then brother, something have to change. Is it me I say? But what first caller, you can big up yourself.
And then why free? But
Good, good,
just
good.
the show are going good so far, bro, and I agree with a whole lot of the points you want to make. But I have to call you out, Kishan, because I did tell you that I was gonna call you, right? You just said that Jamaica in competitions like the Gold Cup, etc., did well. You said it twice, right? Now the fact that Jamaica did not win any trophies, right? Oh, you say them do well if them never win a trophy. You never say in order for somebody to do well, them have to win a trophy. So are you willing to just go back on that and just say that you were wrong, that someone can do well and not win something?
It's
Are you
true.
prepared to go back?
Hold on. There's a differentiation in terms of
No.
what I said. Hold on.
You're-
Hold on.
What you know?
I differentiated something or my statement when I said that in terms of a top caliber team that the
No.
expectation is high. I said that if the expectation is for you to win these respective trophies or
Mm-mm.
whatever you're competing in, then
Mm-mm.
the only way you can do well is by winning a trophy. If you finish
No.
second or runners up, then you
No
can't say you do well.
process.
That's not
Hold
what
on,
you
no, hold
said.
on, no, hold on, no,
That's
hold on,
not what
guys.
you said. And I mentioned doing well overall, and I mentioned it at all levels on that show.
Hold
Can't
on,
be you can't come out of this, No, listen to me.
maybe you never hear me good bad man. What me say
No,
is
I
No process.
mentioned it
It's
at
not at all.
all levels. And you say it on record, and I will go back go find that.
hold
You
on.
say unless no, listen to me, let me finish. You said unless someone wins a trophy, them not do well. And I went as far as to say to you, right? So if 20 people play in the Premier League and 19 of them don't win that Premier League, none of them did well. And you said yes, them not do well because them not win. You said that
Hold
out of
on.
your own mouth. So that
But
has nothing to do with the level of expectation of a top 6 team. If you said 19 of them we don't win the Premier League, never do well. So what you have to say about that? Just retract your statement no, as
hold
a
on, no,
man.
hold on, no. You see, it's unfair for you to come on a public platform and not provide context to the people. I said, I said that it depends on the expectation of these teams. Now,
No, you did
if
not.
hold on, no, if Sheffield United gets promoted in the Premier League, right? Nobody expects a Sheffield United to finish in the top 10 or finish in top 4 or top 6, right? However, if Sheffield United goes on to accomplish that, being a newly promoted team, then in my opinion and my eyes, they did well. However, if, say for example, a Manchester United, or no, Arsenal is competing for the Premier League and them will lead the league for like 99% of the season and then battle it at the end and you finish second. That's not a successful season. You did not do well, you failed. So that is what I said in the in when we had that conversation. So you have to provide
All right, hold
context to the
on
people.
one
Wait,
second,
hold on.
right?
Wait. Dicanio,
Go,
before
go
you.
that me I go through. Me I go read that comment right now. Zine, because based on big up yourself, Simon, right? Based on everything that Pressa said in past shows, and bro, I'm put in a whole lot of corners, and I'm going to pull up those clips for the next show, right? Because I just chat right now. I'm going to pull up all of those clips, so I'm gonna put in a whole lot of corners, and you double down that if you don't win a trophy, you don't do well, right? Now we want a whole lot of, as Simon Preston is saying right there, we want a whole lot of silvers, bronze, and for us as Jamaicans and Jamaican fans, if we reach that level where we can win a silver medal or a bronze medal, even if we don't win the trophy, we would consider that as our nation doing well. But you, Pressa, said that you are not a fan of second place. You say if you come, you literally made reference to the fact that you lost to a one-handed person in climbing, right? And you said you and you said that because of that, right? You like winners. And if you come second, you did not do well because you failed. Right? That is what you said. So the mere fact that Jamaica, so you're telling me no, because expectation is not here for Jamaica. We did well when we got those silvers and bronze, right? That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go.
No, hold on,
Guess
but
you haven't done it. Guess you haven't done it and did it my side. Big up for yourself. That's
Listen,
how we
listen.
do I get so tight. But it's promise to the I can get it,
No, hold on.
Big up on yourself, my side. My God.
What are you raving about? Bro, you asked me a question and I responded. Listen, you said that if the expectations are not high, but Jamaica goes on to win bronze or silver, if them do well. Once again, I said that if a Sheffield United gets promoted to the Premier League and they go on to finish in the top 4, then for me, they did well.
All
So
right,
if
look at
Jamaica goes into a
Simon.
competition and the
Simon, well
expectation is not
said,
to,
Simon. So
and
Manchester
watch
United
out
won
now.
the
If
FA Cup last season while Arsenal did not win a medal or a trophy. Did United have a better season than Arsenal? No. More
no,
successful season only
even
in
with
terms
that
of
question,
medals slash
despite United
trophies.
winning the FA Cup, right?
Yeah.
If you want to talk about it from a trophy perspective, then
Yes.
United had a better season in terms of silverware, right?
Right.
just merely silverware. If you're talking
Mhm.
about the overall season and the trajectory of a club, Arsenal
Okay.
had a better season. Trophy
Okay.
or no trophy. I
Right.
don't want to be sitting in eighth place. I don't want it to be sitting in a position where there's disarray in the club and there's no what you say now, there's no structure on the field in terms of play style and this type of stuff. At least Arsenal is on the cusp of actually winning one of the most coveted trophies in the English Premier League, which is, I think, it's a better trophy to win than obviously the FA Cup. I know that the FA Cup is one of the oldest trophies, if not the oldest trophy across
Mhm.
football competitions, but still, obviously the Premier League is more prestigious. But I think Arsenal overall had a better season.
Wow. First of all, I've never heard you have a moment where you have rescinded a statement that you have
I
made.
didn't
So
rescind
well done
anything.
to you. Well
I
done
didn't.
to you.
What
No,
did I
you
rescind?
basically it's alright. You did it. You did it. You did it. I'm big
But
up
Gunners,
to
make a last
Simon
point
Person.
and we can move on with the show.
No. I don't have. I think
Oh, I'm
you
gone. You
kind of
gone?
wrapped it up well. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah, but United did win a trophy, but it wasn't a better season than Arsenal. You know what I'm saying? That's like saying, oh, if Crystal Palace finish 15th in the Prem and win the FA Cup, if they had a better season than a team that finishes second. No, they didn't. You get me? I say in the context of winning a trophy in terms of silverware, if Arsenal was competing in that same competition, then obviously Crystal Palace is better than them in terms of winning the trophy. But overall, if you talk about the whole season in general, then Arsenal would have had the better season, even if Arsenal finishes second. Um,
all right, Presser. I like it. It's a new look. It's a, maybe it's because the Dicanio is not on the show from the start.
I'm never
But
seen nothing still. It's just that he's a flat track bully. You get me? I say, Ghost one son say, Presser is the Skip Bayless of the show, and I now understand him and his mindset. Listen, people, you can't compare him to Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless is a downright hater. Like, no, like Skip Bayless, you can't compare him to Skip Bayless. Simon
But
Preston, big
Presser,
up
you're
yourself.
a hater, Presser.
No man, Skip Bayless actually have hate enough
Presser,
hate,
you're
brother.
a hater, Presser.
Brother,
No,
me not have
Presser,
no hate for.
we're on a new trajectory, right, Presser? Let us not go back to the days of the things that you used to say in the group chat, Presser. You are just say yes, you are a hater. Please,
I
Dicanio.
am not a hater. I just have strong opinions that I tend to stand on to defend. You know,
So you're a
um,
hater.
how is it? So having a listen, this is unbelievable. But I will not stand
No,
for this.
Presser, tell me that you're not a Kyle Butler hater. Let me
Um,
call you out right now.
drop the link in the comment section. Drop the link in the comment section. How can I be a Kyle Butler hater when I miss you and go down go a Kyle Butler comment section and say, yo, big up yourself, Kyle, best of luck,
What does
etc.
that
etc.
mean? You can hate on somebody and be. So are you also fake? Is that what you're
Yo, this
saying?
man, yo, Kyle Butler anyway, and I will big up yourself. It's just that sometimes
Watch out.
Kyle Butler says things that I do not agree with, like when him say, he make Liam Bailey get him moved to Leverkusen, one bag of foolishness. You see me? Obviously, I'm going to hit out against that, brother, but that does not mean that I'm hating Kyle Butler. No. And if
First, your voice
anything,
all a shake now.
Kyle
You
Butler
know
is
what? I'm
turning.
going to do a poll. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a poll asking if you're a hater, what the people think.
But
Okay,
let me
Presso?
say this to the people. In terms of Downswell, right? You see, people, even though the organization is not, in terms of Downswell and his position, in terms of him not accomplishing what the say for example, for the lack of a better word again, what would you say, Dylan? If I give you something, all right, say the goals, for example, Donzel is not operating at the highest level in terms of to accomplish the goals that he's been given, right? But there's one thing in life that I do not like to do, people. Honestly, I don't really like to call for people head in terms of them being fired. I just don't like do it. You get me, I say? Because people might say, oh, them don't reach already, rare, but no, me just don't like call for people to be fired. You know, I will not do it publicly. Maybe somebody else can do it, right? Other folks can be more vocal in that sense. But in terms of when it comes down to somebody losing their job, I'm not really like go down that path there. I mean, some people might say, "Well, I'm a hypocrite because I call for Eric Ten Hag," but Eric Ten Hag's a different case, people. Trust me, I have to call for female because that one is just not good for a different level. Now, I tell you, he's just not good. You see what I say? Jason Good might say I have a narrative to push, but I really don't have a narrative to push. Ineos didn't want Eric Ten Hag, but it's just that there wasn't anything better out there at this moment in time. But maybe someone will come up still, and then we can move him on.
Well, per se, all over
Um,
the place today. It's like they kind of shake you up.
White Knight Music say Kyle Butler situation was something like Kylian Mbappe and Ethan Mbappe. You get what I say? You get what I say? Like when Mbappe moved like you know, like they move out Ethan and Mbappe say, yo, you can't do it no more. You get me? I say, because PSG wanted to keep Mbappe. And the worst part about it, they actually lost him on a free when they could have gotten some money for him. But I guess PSG is that rich of a club that they don't really need no money still. You see what I say? What did Dicanio say?
Bro, he's just saying that you're a hater, dog. And that you're deflecting and you're ignoring.
Peter, big up yourself. Him say, you call for a grimace head, you liar. Well, I never really called him head. It was just in the spur of the moment where I was a bit emotional coming off the back of some poor results. But I don't think in that day I said that he should be fired.
Presser, I want to say it live on this platform. I rate you, Presser. You're a decent individual, and I rate you. Oh, look at it, the OG, the king.
Peter, big up yourself.
Big up, man.
Big up.
Peter, Nottingham first play for the weekend. Come and not really get watched.
Yeah, I mean, Paris, yeah, man, we draw 1-1 with Bournemouth.
Oh.
So wait, Peter, you actually watch Forest week in, week out?
Yeah, two teams are watching, because two teams actually have, you know.
Yeah.
Back in the 70s, before your parents even know about, you know. Yeah, Ipswich and Forest, man.
Ipswich and Forest?
Yeah, Ipswich was my first side.
Well, Peter, so like
when they were in the first division. Forest was in the fourth division. I mean, just, you know, when you watch the lower level, and I watch them from fourth division go all the way up to first division. So I end up with two sides.
Because I've been hearing recently that how big of a club Ipswich is. And I never realized that. It's not my generation.
Yeah, man. Ipswich in the league already. They win, I believe they win 74 FA Cup. Them turn away Paul Marina, number 10 centre forward, England striker, as well as play for Ipswich.
Yeah, Paul Marina was before my mom was born.
Paul Marina is on ESPN. It's seen also.
We're both talking at the same time.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Remember, you know, me are old, you know.
No, man, say Peter, the Paul Marina you're talking about, he's the one on ESPN FC, no, so.
Where's that while ago, Presser?
The Paul Marina you're talking about, he's the one that's on ESPN FC sometimes?
No, man.
Yeah,
No.
The Paul Marina, they kind of look young still.
Yeah, man. Them time, and then remember when Forest come up with Viv Anderson in a defense? Enough people ever know say remember say Viv Anderson used to play for Forest before him go to United. Yeah, man.
Nottingham Forest have European trophy to something with Arsenal now, you know?
Yeah, man.
We have one European trophy.
We have two. And not hold on. First thing first, they have different type of European trophies. Forest have two top, not second tier and third tier like what you are talking about. We have two top trophies winning back to back. Don't forget that. Put respect behind Forest's name, yeah?
Hold on. No man, Peter, you tell me, man, Paul Marina, man. Me never know him dead. Yo, I said, oh my gosh. Yes, man, Paul Marina, me used to see him on ESPN FC, Peter. Me used to see him on ESPN FC. He used to feature. He wasn't like a mainstay, but he used to feature. But I never know him pass off. Yeah, I'm just go.
Yeah, man, him pass off, man. Yeah, man, remember when him pass off, man. You know?
Man, I watch ESPN FC like that again. That's a month now, but John won't start. Me used to see him, man. Good English fella.
Yeah, man. It was a good baller for England, man. So it was wear the number 10 shirt back in the days. You know? But hey, but me have two sides and both of them are go to Europe next year.
Huh?
Who that?
You can't take yourself serious, Peter. Anyways, Peter, you seem like you come to defend Presser today. So what's up?
Man. Yeah, man, only leave Presser alone. Because Presser, I'm going to say the truth, I don't like Butler either. You know? And everybody want put Butler in the spotlight. Me done with him, man. Me done with him and me done with Bailey too. I'm not done on a forgiveness program. Yeah, you understand?
So in terms of this might have to be Peter, but in terms of the letter that Leon Bailey is supposed to write back to write to JFF to state that he's available, like what you have to say about them?
Hold on. I agree with that, but guess what happened? All the players, him teammates, an apology as well. Because don't forget, you know, Even when we play Canada. Remember, Bailey never show up for the Canada game, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You
What do you
understand?
mean he never? What do you mean he never show up?
Bailey never did he play that the Canada game?
Yeah, man, he playing at the two Canada
Yeah,
games.
he
I
played
mean,
it.
man. I mean show up. I mean not show up in a performance wise.
Well, first thing first, Bailey never show up for Jamaica yet. You
But
understand?
so you
Boy,
say Bailey
Peter, you
never have
sound
one
like you have a
Gambia game.
vendetta against him, Peter.
Listen, man. You name me one good game Bailey play for Jamaica. Me not talk Aston Villa, you know. Me talk Jamaica.
I think there's this one at the National Stadium when he did just start play for the team. I think against him, they score a goal. If I'm not mistaken, it's against Honduras. I believe it was.
Yeah, that early part, but in the latter part when him get in himself, when he get
Other
too much
than
in
that-
himself, why him though?
Other than that, I don't. You know the Gold Cup how we did play, right? Or they draw to the United States and him did miss the penalty.
Yes.
I don't remember all the games, but I don't
We know
think he
about
had
finish see where you say presser. He missed the penalty and the ball come back on him foot and then miss it again. So
Yeah, but
nobody
when I say in that Gold Cup run, I don't think he had a bad Gold Cup actually. I think it was decent. You see me?
Wow.
Other than the miss against the United States, the penalty miss itself and the follow, I don't think that Gold Cup campaign for Liam Bailey was bad. But after
Presser,
that,
you scare me, you know, Presser. Because every week your opinion change, you know, Presser.
So hold on. Some man can have multiple opinions. It's like when you want to bash Liam Bailey.
Oh, okay. No. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Cool.
No,
Yeah, man.
listen,
Peter, when Liam Bailey do something wrong, I bash him.
Yeah.
I mean, fall out and call him man flop for Jamaica. Enough people beat me now. But since recently, Liam Bailey hasn't done anything for me for bash him. All me I do is say the Honduras game him play good. The Gold Cup, I think it was decent. But after that, like in the Nations League, leading up to the Canada game, I don't think he had the best campaign in some of those games, especially at the National Stadium.
No, you're 100% right. You understand? But may I talk about in disrespect to the Jamaican team. The Jamaican team is not just a JFF, you know. It's you, me, every true Jamaican fan, and them teammates.
But
You understand?
everybody feel different about the situation in terms of
Me want a public apology from Liam Bailey. I want him to apologize to the fans. You understand? Because bottom line is this. To me, him put party before him country. I mean, not believe in that. I mean, I respect that. You understand? I can understand, whereas if him did just, boy, you know, I'm tired, him body, not, you know, need a rest after I grew some season. You understand? And him say, boy, me need a 1 or 2 game rest. But this man make plans long before. Because me don't know, because I still believe because Butler then I am ears. But the man is a big man. And when he's a big man, you can't make another man lead you astray. You understand?
I mean, we have a next topic I want to discuss because they're for run soon, Peter. So I just said this and make a last point. I will get to the last topic. In terms of Bailey and the Butler relationship, I mean, for one, you know, Butler is basically his father. But, you know, if you look at player relationship with agents, I mean, agents always have something. I don't want to say them like overpower the player because people normally say, okay, the player hires the agent. But if you look at the relationship between agents, you know, a lot of agents really make players into what they are today. Not saying the player not have to work hard to make himself in a star, you know. But agents typically they sacrifice a lot to give players an opportunity. So sometimes, you know, whenever an agent or something, a player just tend to go along with it. You know, you really have to be a strong character in terms of to stand up against the agent and say, listen, I hear what you're saying, but let's also go in this direction as well. Let's explore this option. You know, when Paul Pogba had Mino Raiola, they basically control Paul Pogba, and Paul Pogba seemed like a strong character. And people say, why am I not stand up against Mino Raiola? Why am I not tell Mino Raiola to stop talk? But Mino Raiola was there from the get-go in terms of getting Paul Pogba to the level that he was once at. You get me, I say?
Yeah, well, that is true. You know,
So
but bottom line is this. But okay, I agree with you 100%. But when Bailey see Butler I lead him astray in the wrong direction, as a big man, him supposed to say to himself, listen, this is how I want to do things. If not, I'll go elsewhere to try and to get another agent to represent me. Yeah, that's a decision Bailey can make.
Well,
You understand? But him just never do that.
I mean, a long time people are saying must change agent, but I think he's sensible enough to know what he's doing. But big up yourself still, Peter.
Yeah, man, gentlemen, bless up. I remember, even though una laugh after me, Ipswich and Forest, Europe, me say next season. Bless up.
All right,
Which
then, I see
Europe? They
about that.
are already in Europe,
No,
The
no,
European
no. You know
company.
what me I talk about, man. You know, it's a
Oh,
European competition next season, man. So you can stay there.
oh.
All right,
All
gentlemen,
right,
bless up
Peter.
here.
Bless
Always
up,
a
bless up, bless
pleasure.
up.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah, yeah.
Always a pleasure
Big
to
up.
have it, Peter.
So I could transition into the Kaheim Dixon real quick, right? So Kaheim Dixon, we know that he got the move to Charlton Athletic. Me or somebody say if you realize a rumor. No, it is actually real that he got a move to Charlton Athletic. What this was like. This came out like a couple weeks now, if not like maybe 2-3 weeks now, cause time of flying out the land. So he did a medical, and now it has been reported that Dixon is waiting on his work permit. Now I know that it can be a very, very long process, especially seeing that Kaheim Dixon is coming from Jamaica, and we all know how the FIFA work with the rankings and all this type of stuff. So it's a real tedious process in terms of getting that work permit. But eventually, I believe that the work permit will come through, right? We've seen this before with different players with the work permit. I mean, if you play for a bigger club, then it's a fast process. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously those clubs like get I don't want to say like even if you play for a bigger club, because in terms of how the government in England looks at football, they don't just look at it from like, oh, the Premier League level. They take all levels into consideration in terms of this is a driving force in the economy around England, and football makes a lot of money to the point where even the government wanted to step in recently with the whole Manchester City situation and say, listen, if the Premier League not fix this, then we will implement it. But if you fix this, you get me? I say, so that is how involved the government is with football because it generates so much money. However, to an extent, if Dixon did play for a bigger club, he probably would have getting work permit already. But in terms of Charlton, my main concern with Dixon and this Charlton Athletic deal, Dylan, is Charlton, they kickstarted the season not too long ago. They're probably like 3 to 4 games in already. What will Dixon, like, what will he become at Charlton Athletic? You know what I'm saying? Do they prioritize him to that level? Like, will he have a starting position? Well, when I say will he have a starting position, I mean, like, will he be featuring with this Charlton Athletic team? You know what I'm saying? In terms of like a loan deal or whatever the case is, I don't know anything about him getting a loan. I think that would be stupid for Charlton to purchase him and then loan him out. I mean, loan him out to where? What you have to say about Kaheim Dixon and his future at Charlton Athletic?
I mean, as everybody probably knows by now, I'm an Arne Gunn supporter. And I rate Dixon very highly. But as a striker, I don't know what that will look like on the European stage. Playing against those types of centre backs. But also, he's very good at rolling his defender. Um he seems to be a decent first touch and he seems to have decent technical ability. Um but I'm not fully sure. I think the Dixon situation, I thought Charlton was a good move for him, but it was very confusing for me as well. Um, and if you go to Charlton, where exactly are you going to get loaned out to? So I think there are many question marks. I think when I found the news about Dixon, what I had seen and read was that the move was completely dependent on him getting his visa situation together. Um, so I think those were the contingencies. So I find it very odd. I don't think it's very crazy that his visa situation, because I feel like this does happen to a lot of players. Um, but yeah, Dixon confuses me quite a lot. I don't really understand what his best position is, especially at the highest stage. But I'm a Arne Guy's fan, so I only want the best for him still.
I mean, from the outside looking in, it looks like a strange deal, especially with the whole process. But the reason why I didn't even want to talk about the Dixon situation to the people is because, I'm following him on Instagram and, sometimes jokingly, I text in the group chat with Dicanio and Dylan that is Dixon playing for like Bible FC or Scripture FC, because people impose some scriptures on me reading to it and I say, yo, now man, something not seem right. You get me? I say, like, me know, say, like, you have to call upon God when you're unsure of your situation, But at them the scripture Dixon post like say, yo, you see me I say, like my face some obstacles where you need to overcome in terms of this whole work permitting. So that kind of just like drive me speculation in terms of like what is really going on. Couple times I see him repost like the results when Charlton Athletic play a game. But me I say, yo, me never see the man post a shirt or nothing like so,
Yeah.
hopefully this work permit thing come through as quickly as possible because, as I said, like Charlton Athletic, they've already kickstarted the season. I don't think Kaheim Dixon has a preseason under his belt. However, one thing to note, I know that I read an article which it did state that Dixon has been interacting with his teammates at the facility, at the training ground, playing table tennis, etc. So, yeah, he's accustomed to the players at Charlton Athletic, so at least he's in and around. It's just that the whole work permit situation, So I'm sure that he's in the gym keeping fit, but it's different in terms of being in the gym and then having a preseason under your belt. So he's already behind the 8 ball, as they would say. You know what I'm saying? He's already behind everything, so he might feel like catch up now. You see what I say? So when he gets the work permit, let's see when he will feature. And sometimes, as a new player in that environment, sometimes you now get all the opportunity or every opportunity in one season. You probably get a few games here and there, and then the next season you can kick on. Any last points to that before we end the show?
Yeah, no, I just really hope the best for him and every single Reggae Boyz player. Big up to, I think, how much we have now? 5 that play week in, week out in the Premier League. So, just proud of all of them, and thank you for everybody that watched the show and was commenting. It's very, very, very much appreciated, and I'm just happy to be back.
And last thing, see people talk about Shamar Nicholson. As I said, Kaheim Dixon, CFS, and multiple players, they share the same agent as Shamar Nicholson. And, Dixon got a move recently. What his name? Trevante Stewart got a move recently as well. We all know that there's uncertainty surrounding Shamar Nicholson. CFS, it looks like there's uncertainty there because the man said him last year. Is what I say? So, a lot of speculation surrounding a few more players. So let's see if Shamar Nicholson will be on the move. The transfer window is coming to the end soon, or like 2 more weeks.
And deadline day is a real thing as well.
Who?
So deadline. Now I'm saying deadline day is a real thing as well. Like a lot of deals usually happen on deadline day, so I don't think it's that big of a. Oh, look at this. Simon says that because he has not signed as yet, he has passed his medical. He has not signed as yet. When the work permit is ready, then you will see Charlton post him with the jersey/kit on. So there's
pro music. You know what I mean, man. You know what I mean. But the best of luck to Nicholson and other players. And I'm gonna have to call out somebody before we leave as well. I will have the star of the week.
All right.
Ballage TV. The man say how Nicholas Jackson is on the same level as Trevante Stewart. Anyhow, we did have conquered the week today. Me give it to Ballage TV. You can't say Nicholas Jackson up on the same level as Trevante Stewart. That is utter disrespect, and I will not stand for that. Bravo Rage Squadron, big up yourself. Himself most to England incoming for those players. Anyways, people, we have the star of the week, and then we'll end it. So then give us a quick drum roll. Give us a quick drum roll, and people them can. You kind of low on time.
Well, this is your star of the week still. This is all you still.
All right, before me give him the star of the week, who do you like nominate, or who do you have given star of the week to?
Dicanio, because he made you rescind that statement.
Anyways, people, the star of the week goes to none other than Mason Greenwood. Yes, people, Mason Greenwood, newly signed player for Marseille. On his debut, 2 goals as well as 2 assists, having 4 goal involvements in 5 of the goals that Marseille scored yesterday against the team that finished 3rd last season, which is Brest, right? Brest, not Brest, whatever the case is, you get the drift. But anyways, yeah, Mason Greenwood gets star of the week. You can also have a better debut, brother. You get me saying, in terms of confidence levels, this goes well for Mason Greenwood. And to point out, he was actually bored as well. So, to face boos from the crowd and still put down such an exceptional performance in terms of like your first game of the season, that just shows the character of the guy and the ability that Mason Greenwood possesses. And me did I watch Ryan LFC show recently where Ryan do a poll and him say like him did have like Greenwood, Ford in Saka and Jude Bellingham, and him said like out of the 4, who is the best player? And the man named vote Mason Greenwood. That's a bit controversial, to be honest, but such is life. Anyways, people, before we head out, give you guys the outro, and everyone, hope you guys have a wonderful and productive week. So then, play the outro. It's time to rise up.